Well, God morning, Ahiah.
Yeah.
And welcome to live service at the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living, beautiful downtown Pasadena, California, USA, in the heart of the theater district. And we've got live, vibrating, resonating bodies right here in the sanctuary. So we are resonating with you in cyberspace and welcoming you to our Prosperity Talk series. No coinky-dink, spirit is everywhere present. And when healing happens anywhere, it happens everywhere. So buckle up and get ready for our Prosperity Talk series and a new experience of prosperity for us and for you. I am Reverend Michael Bernard Lattimore, your assistant minister. I'll be your guide on the side this morning. It's my honor to introduce to you our musical inspiration, Andrea Lane, accompanied by Billy Shank in the house. Woohoo! Indeed. And the Sunday band is here. Chris Glick tickling the keyboards. We've got Leon Johnson on the bass. Yeah. All right. And Brian Menifee holding up the percussions, the rhythm in the room. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Indeed. And I think that's it. Let me see what else is going on here. I've got Earth to Mike. Yes? Oh, yes, yes. Gloria is in the sound room. Yes. Auto-magically making sound just go out all over the world. Yeah. We got Harris, who's our technical director, our stage manager. He does everything. He's in the house today. Yes, indeed. And with that, I think we are pretty good, huh? Yeah, we're good. You know, I'm a little. I have to share with you that I'm a little bit living in two worlds. Yeah. I woke up this morning making arrangements for a dear friend of mine who made his transition this week. And we started a GoFundMe for him. He didn't have any insurance. And the GoFundMe has really started to come along really well. Thank all of you who have contributed to it. But I got a call from someone who, out of the clear blue sky, who loved Billy just as much as we did. And they said that they want to pick up the tab for the entire service for everything. You know, that's a demonstration of prosperity. It's a reminder that God good is everywhere present and that every need has a supply. And it was a reminder for me this morning to stand firmly in that knowingness. You know? So I just want to thank all of you for your prayers and for anchoring that truth, because when it's known anywhere, it's known everywhere. So grateful for you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So we're going to now listen into a meditation. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, Rev. Harris is going to do a poem.
Oh, Harris is going to do a poem for the meditation this morning. What a delight. So
it's a little early, right? That's a little later.
It's coming later on?
Oh.
Instead of the meditation.
Oh, hey.
Are we?
We are so flexible. So. So Harris, would you like to come down and delight us with your poem? Why not? Let's give Harris our love this morning, family. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is kind of a format that we're not used to. We're trying some stuff out. Thank you for being here for it. It's all wonderful, you know. Some things about this poem. For one thing, I know it probably doesn't matter, but I'm sorry that I haven't got it memorized. The other thing is that I actually wrote this like 3 months ago or so. And when I saw that the theme for the next few talks was going to be all like musical and orchestra based, I just thought, wow, it's really weird and perfect, because this poem is called Symphony. And yeah, so I'd like to read it for you. Thank you very much for being here. You know? Switch hands because it's comfortable. We enter the stage and stand around, just like we've forgotten something. We slowly get our instruments out in pieces, putting them together from scratch without instructions, watching those around us build, looking for hints in their actions, all the while listening and watching some on the stage who are already playing. When do I get to play? When am I supposed to play? What is my part? Where is my music? Some have tubes, some have necks, some have strings, some have keys, some have knobs, some have pedals, some are big, some small, some more tight or loose, some need a stand. Some need more help than others to even be on stage, often not getting it. All practice taking energy from within, from around them. All then take their time to stretch their sound, resounding, reverberating, finding out what it means to be in tune. And we all tune up at once. It's a kind of fanfare, everyone playing the same note, some variation at least, preparing for the coming of the show, even though there's already an audience. Because nobody knows what to play, we all march to our own oboe, or viola, or marimba, or theremin, if that's your thing. The drums are inside of us already, constantly beating so much, so loud, sometimes it's hard to remember our drums will stop once we exit stage. Most forget that everyone is a percussionist. Then we start our song, counting in when we want to, playing along when we meet up, or when someone flaunts their right to play whatever they can. Some even seem to have a plan, and we use our ears to discover sounds we love, we fear, and we tear through the energy at breakneck speed or too slowly, making way through the movements of chance and happenstance, serendipity and stupidity, elation and depression, good luck in the absence of forgetfulness, the bane of our experience and existence. Ability creating reality, telling a story for those before us, after, and now. Through these movements, multiple bows are made, exits and entrances, sometimes gesturing to the edge of the stage. A gruesome and certain ending before we reach an age where we've mastered our sound. Looking for a conductor, for someone to truly guide us, we can only see ourselves. Wondering what the use of performing is. Wondering how conforming is better or worse for the show. Looking out to the audience. As light fills our eyes, sometimes it's easier to block out everything and play. Easier more to simply stop and turn away. No trust and in our own way. Though if you reject your sound, it won't come out. No matter how hard you try, despising the guise of performance is the same as rejecting the existence of the stage. Some play rage at this, and they destroy instruments, finding no hope in the movements, preferring any imagined bliss of becoming a part of a different audience. There's no sense in the show until you sense it. No recompense until you let it. We all know the end result. Our choice was to forget it as we entered the stage. Thank you very much.
You know, it's at moments like this that I am always reminded at what talent and diversity we have within our community, and how blessed we are that this group of people have decided to come together in this way. You know, we are so supported. Rev Mike, our practitioners, I'll talk about our prosperity team. We just have people that are willing to come in and do their part. Our musicians, you know, everybody does their part, and it becomes more than the individual. So thank you, Harris. That was a beautiful poem. And if you want to read it, you can go to ahiah.com/inspire, and it's got the full text there. Oh, okay. He made some edits this morning. So we're just going to move right along, and I'm going to ask Andrea Lane and her husband Billy Shank. He's going to come up, and they're going to give us a little bit of tunes.
Good morning. How y'all doing? All right. Yeah. Oh, the sun shines bright in my head. Oh, the sun shines bright. I breathe it in. I breathe it in. I breathe it out. And there's a sneaking possibility that I create my world with my intent. How I wake up every morning feeling grateful I'm alive. That is the key. Just be. Just be. Oh, I'm being lifted up. Oh, in my dreams I'm flying high. Oh, just be. There are moments when I call upon the angels, will they cloak me with their grace, and they protect my every movement as I'm walking in the world. It's not a race. Just be. Just be. Oh, don't go it all alone. Oh, angels, they bring clarity. Oh, don't go it all alone. Don't you go it all alone. Be. Just
Yes, yes, yes. Just be. I understood. I think I overheard that that's an original of yours that's brand new. That's wonderful. So you're going to have to let us know how to find you on social media so we can buy your stuff. You can tell us the next time you're up at the end of the service. So I think that song is perfect to get us started with a little prayer and a reading. So Patricia Roach is going to come up. She's one of our 4 emeritus practitioners that are here at Ahiah. We're so blessed. And so, Patricia.
Thank you, and good morning. It's so wonderful to see so many of you here. Welcome. Welcome. You're beautiful. I can see your lights radiating. So I'm going to start with an invocation and then go into a reading. And Andrea, thank you for that, because just be. So we're going to be in the breath. Just take a deep breath in and allow it to blow out. And one more to clear anything and bring us to this very present moment, right here and right now, breathing in and breathing out. And as I speak my word this morning, knowing that God is and I am, that God is the love and the peace and the joy and the harmony, balance and order and so much more. For all there is God, Spirit, and that Spirit is love. That Spirit is the essence of life force within each one of us and in all of life. We are connected in this oneness of love, this oneness of light, this one life, God's life. And as I speak my word, knowing that each one is love and is being that love right now, I bless this service. I bless our ministers, our musicians, our volunteers. I bless Ahiah's entire community in this love, knowing that we are that beacon of light shining forth in this world, sharing our love, our light, our peace with the world through the oneness of life itself. I know that our minister, Reverend Scott, is divinely guided to speak words of wisdom as we begin our prosperity program today. I send blessings of love and light to our youth and family ministry that also is reopening today with a new director. We give thanks for the director and for the children that are already coming to our youth and family ministry. We bless those families that are encouraged and are led divinely to Ahiah. I give thanks knowing that this service is already successful, complete, and that everyone that is hearing, is here, or watching it online, or maybe even watching it in the future, is blessed by these words, by this service. And I just give thanks, knowing that God is in charge and in the midst. And so it is. Amen. Well, we start our prosperity program today dancing the rhythm of prosperity. And today's reading, the Wisdom Talk, is the Prosperity Orchestra. So, of course, my reading has to accommodate Reverend Scott's talk, right? So, I'm taking it from the Science of Mind textbook, from the Meditations on page 556, and it's called Abundance is My Inheritance. Abundance is mine. I cannot be deprived of my supply. The trees do not lack for leaves, nor do the flowers fail to bloom. Am I not as important as they? Consider the lilies of the field. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed as one of those. I look at the lavish wastefulness of nature and know that God intended me to be as abundantly supplied with everything that makes for beauty, well-being, progressive living, and happiness. I myself am to blame when these fruits of the Spirit fail to appear. Since I know the truth of my being, I will no longer hinder or retard my good from coming to me. I will expect and accept all that I need to make life happy and worthwhile. For I am, as are you, a child of the Spirit, and every attribute of it, every attribute of good, is my inheritance. Nothing but lack of faith can keep my good from me, for I am one with the universal essence of life or spirit, and its substance will manifest in my experience as I believe. No longer will I go for my good carrying only a dipper to be filled. This day, as I turn to the Father within, I bring all the empty vessels, knowing they will be filled, and my abundance will become manifest. The affirmation is, abundance is my inheritance. Abundance is my inheritance. And I received a telephone call from Charlene, and she wanted me to tell the Ahiah family, thank you for your prayers. She's doing well, and she says hello, and she misses all of you. Thank you.
Yes. Blessing to Charlene, absolutely. So, good morning. I think you can see, for those of you who have been here before, that we've changed things up a little bit here. And of course, with Gabriel during our prosperity season, he keeps adding each week. So if you want to know what it's going to look like next week, you got to come down, take a look. So welcome to our 4-week prosperity program called Awakening Abundant Living. And it's a wonderful program. And you know, I only get to take a little bit of credit for this because the truth is that there's been a group of 20 folks that's showing on your screen right here that have been coming together for 8 weeks. And you can see that these folks, a lot of people you will know on there. Reverend Mike's on there, Patricia's on there. You know, we have so many people. Chris is on there that are here right now. And I want to just give them a hand. Can we give them a hand? And this group, they've got so much planned for you, you know, and talking to them over 8 weeks, I have a lot to say because they told me a lot of things about prosperity. And that's the great thing, right? It's not just, you know, me speaking from on high. The idea of how we do this program is to get people involved so that I can hear your wisdom to send it back out, so that we can come up with things that we're doing within the group and outside to spread this idea of prosperity around, because we want to make Ahiah more prosperous, but the way to make Ahiah more prosperous is to make everyone in this community more prosperous, right? So thank you to those 20 folks. Thank you so much. One of the events that we have, I really want to make sure you guys know about, so I'm talking about it here. I'll talk a little bit about the other ones at the end of service. but our mastermind groups. So each week after the talks, there's a mastermind group. We have 6 of them. So we would love for you to sign up, and I'd love to chat with you about that after service if you're here. But if you're online, you can go to ahiah.com/prosperity, and you can find the link to our mastermind groups. And there's 6 different times, 2 of them here. One of them is right after service today, after fellowship. So around 12:30, we'll start it. They're about an hour. And so what we do in those is we talk about what we talked about here. So one of the things that's really great about this mastermind is right now as I'm talking to you, it's kind of a one-way conversation. It's a good thing, right? But it's only one way. And then you get to come to the mastermind group and you get to talk among the people there, and there's a practitioner to answer questions and all that type of stuff. So it's really good about that. But then there's the mastermind portion of it, which is a place where you get to talk about your own personal prosperity and have the group hold you in their consciousness and lift you up high. And that is worth $1 million, don't you think? I think so. So sign up for those. Love to have you if you're sticking around today. So awakening the abundance of each and every one of us. You know, I know that each and every one of us has abundance as our birthright because each and every one of us is spirit, and spirit is our source. So, you know, it's not a thing of, you know, should I have prosperity? It is absolutely true for each and every one of us. 2019 was our first prosperity program. We didn't do it last year because of COVID, but 2019, the talk or the theme for that year was being the flow. Does that ring a bell for some of you guys who've been around? And it was, it wasn't being in the flow, right? There's a difference between being the flow and being in the flow, because being the flow, you're the thing itself. Being in the flow, you're participating in something. And what we believe is we are the thing itself. And so very similarly, our theme for this year is dancing the rhythm of prosperity. We're not dancing in the rhythm of prosperity, we're dancing the rhythm itself, because we are that rhythm. And there is a rhythm in the universe, don't you think? There's a bit of a rhythm that when we can get in synchronization with that rhythm, things just flow. And when we're off the beat and all, you know, yeah, it just doesn't work so well. So what we want to do is we want to attune ourselves to the rhythm of the universe and do a little bit of dancing, right? Dancing is just when you're moving to the beat. And that's what we want to do. We want to dance to the rhythm. So we're going to talk about abundance. And I'm a very strong believer in abundance being financial good also. So we don't shy away from it at this center. We talk about money. And I think that's a great thing. But I don't want to get caught in the thought that abundance is only money, because it's not. There's so much more. I remember when my eyes were open to that abundance is more than money. It's about relationships. It's about being supported in all the things that you do. It's about having creativity, being able to be creative in your life and being supported in that creativity. It's about health as well as wealth, right? If we have our health and our wealth, our creativity and good relationships, we're just flying high. So I think I got this from Reverend Kristen Hawkins about 20 years ago in a prosperity program that I participated in at a center in Long Beach called Namaste. And she said, and I'll never forget, she said, prosperity is moving forward with joy, confidence, and ease. And so I gift that to you from her. You know, it's flowing. I don't even know where she got it, right? So she might have gotten it from somebody else. It just flows. It's a truth. Moving forward with joy, confidence, and ease. That's what we want to do. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and ask Kate Finnegan to come on up. Kate is one of our members here at Ahiah, and she's going to share with us a little bit about her prosperity and how that's worked for her. So let me get a microphone for her. Come on down. Let's give Kate a round of applause. Go. Whoop. All right. Don't trip over anything. So, Harris, can we see Kate where she is? All right, great. So, everybody, this is Kate. And Kate, how long have you been coming to Ahiah?
Since the fall of 2019.
Oh, that's great. So about a year then.
About a year, yeah.
Yeah. And how did you find us?
I went looking for people who understood the science of mind because I had been trying to study it on my own for 15 years. So it was a struggle.
Yeah, how was that doing for you?
It was hard.
Yeah, it is a little bit hard. And so it is great to find a community where we can talk, right? And have a two-way conversation. So, Kate, what do you find that you appreciate about Ahiah?
Okay. So this is where I won't get deep. So I'm a product of the 60s. Everybody talked about love. It was like, nah. But in coming to Ahiah, I learned, I get emotional. There's just a really strong current of love and acceptance here. And that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So.
And how has Ahiah helped you in your own prosperity?
My own okay, so the prayer and conversation group.
How many of you guys go to prayer and conversation? It's at 9 a.m. Monday through Saturday. I love it. I come on as often as I can.
So I've learned through that group with Barbara, Marcia, Myrna, others, you, just learning how to use the language. And I think the most prosperous thing that I take away is just learning to like slow down and be gentle and be humble.
Yeah.
So, and it's just gentle.
Oh. Well, we're so glad that you found us, and it's so lovely that we're able to be together in community in that way and support each other.
Yeah. So, and I'm looking forward to, I think it was a couple months ago, I attended the financial talk and learned of all the different outreach programs you have. So I had a long conversation with Nancy Johnson. I've yet to meet her. So I'm excited about.
She's virtual.
Yeah, but I'm excited about getting involved with her. And Reverend Mike has a lot of things where you get involved with the community. So it's like you can come here, and it's not just volunteer work. It's like you're getting involved, and you're making a difference in the community, and that's. So I'm looking forward to Ahiah becoming more of a strong central point in Pasadena.
Yay.
Because it's just happening here.
Let's give Kate a round of applause. Thank you, Kate. So, one of the things about Kate is she is a member here. And she became a member back in March. And being a member of this community means is that you're part of the community, that you've signed up to be truly a part, an owner in this community. Everybody is welcome to everything. You don't have to be a member, but if you're a member, you've taken that next step, and you get to vote on things too that matter in the community. So if you're interested in being a member, just go to ahiah.com/membership, and that's a great way. There's a form there. Just fill it out, and I will call you, and we'll have a chat, okay? So thank you again. Let's give Kate another round of applause. Thank you, Kate. So this week is all about the Prosperity Orchestra. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to show this earlier. This is the times for the mastermind meetings. So we'll show them again during announcements. But this here, well, Harris is changing the focus, so it'll be just a second for those of you on the screen here. But this here, for those of you in the house, is a picture of an orchestra, right? And the thing about an orchestra is that, you know, it is so complex. It's kind of like our lives, isn't it? You know, an orchestra comes together, it plays very complex music, symphonies, you know, that if you're talking about Beethoven and Bach, they have many, many parts, many, many instruments, a lot of complexity in that. And isn't that like our lives, right? It is like our lives. It's like my life anyway. There's just a lot of pieces playing in my life. And, you know, as we play, as that orchestra comes together in all of its diversity, because there's a huge number of people, but then there's all these different types of instruments. And how many of you have played in a band or in a, yeah, quite a few of us that are here and probably more online. You know, we all have parts. When I was playing in the concert band, for instance, there was 3 different parts for the alto sax. You know, you're just playing a bunch of different parts, and they come together to make beautiful harmonies. Okay, so Chris, I'm going to need you in a little bit, but not right now. Then there is the director, right? The director. Who do you think the director is for your own personal symphony? It's you, right? You get to be the person who hires all these people, fires all of them, chooses the instruments, chooses the parts to play. That's if you want to, right? And then if you're conscious of it, and then there's the audience. You know, and some places, some concert venues have huge audiences. Some concert venues are very small. And it's okay for us to you know, have different size audiences. It's all right. But who is our audience? To me, our audience is our family and our friends, the people who are actually interested in your life. Those are your audiences. And they're the ones that are living the experience of your life along with you as you're up there directing. They're back in the back kind of, you know, participating. Maybe you have some people that are in your audience that play both parts somehow. Don't ask me how that works. I don't know how they can be in 2 places at once, but they are. Because some people, like our parents when we're little, they're playing a major part in the orchestra, but they're also participating in our lives and listening to our lives too. And I think that some people can be in the orchestra and later on they mostly move into the audience. You know, like our parents, they're in both, but eventually, for most of us, not all of us, for most of us though, you know, our parents, our connection, we may be living in another state, or Mikhail's here, his mom is in another country right now, you know. And so maybe not as close as having your mother live with you and feed you dinner every night. And so those relationships change over time. And so the thing about our symphony is, in our life, our symphony is always, always playing. And the question is how well is our symphony playing? You know, are you there directing the New York Philharmonic? Or are you, you know, directing Kindergarten Rock, you know? Nothing against Kindergarten Rock. You know, I've got, you know, my youngest son, we got him when he was 6, so we got him when he was in kindergarten. And He played the violin for a couple of years when he was small. And I went to all those little kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, all the way up, concerts they would have. And for me as a parent, it was great. Yeah, I don't know that I would have paid for the performance if I wasn't related to it. Yeah. But I had a wonderful time, and that's what counted, right? And he had a good time. And so, our orchestra creates harmony in our lives. And as the director, we get to choose a little bit about what parts we're going to play. And we have parts that we can assign some of the people in our orchestra such that we get a major tone, something that's very pleasing. Chris is going to play me a chord that's very happy. Yeah. You got another one, Chris? Yeah. We can have these chords which just fill us with joy. And everybody who's listening to that chord, everybody around you will know that in that moment, your heart is full of joy. And sometimes we can choose to play a dissonant chord. Let's do a different one. You got one more? Thank you, Chris. And everybody knows that's in the audience in that moment. It brings something, as we're listening to that, it brings something into our own experience. And the thing about the director is we are choosing that. We're choosing that. Now, the question about our audience is they're the ones that are participating in your life with you. Think about who's in your audience. As they're participating in your life, are they listening to major chords? Are they listening to minor chords, dissonant chords? Are they participating along with you in that they're happy? Do you have some people in your audience who are asleep? It's a great way to gauge, because sometimes we don't actually know whether we are in rhythm with the universe or not. Sometimes the truth is we're just kind of floating along in our lives, going along. And so it's actually a good indicator for us, I think, for us to be awake and aware of the people who are in our lives and how are they showing up? How do they view our lives as they're listening to our life? How does it sound for them? So, that's been this metaphor of an orchestra, the Prosperity Orchestra. But I want to talk about actual prosperity for a second. I remember going to my very first class of practitioner training years ago, and I remember we were talking about prosperity a little bit, and one of the guys in the class, he said, we're wanting machines. And I went, that I'd never really thought about it that way, but we are. We are these things that if we allow ourselves to just be that wanting machine, we want. And I want to be really clear, there is nothing wrong with wanting. There's nothing wrong with living a prosperous life. But maybe you want to take a thought about what do you do with that prosperity that you have? What do you do with the things that you have? Take a look in the mirror, and do you look a little bit like this guy here? Scrooge McDuck. You know, the quality of Scrooge McDuck is that, you know, no amount of money would ever be enough for Scrooge, you know? And all he wanted to do, you remember this cartoon? I remember it. All he wanted to do was count his money, you know, and roll around in the money and have money, money, money. There's nothing wrong with having money. I love money. But I would rather be maybe a little bit more like Daddy Warbucks. Maybe not at the beginning of the story, but at the end, when he gets a little bit clearer on what prosperity is for him. On the title here, or on the cartoon here, it says, "Tomorrow can come true." Isn't that a great philosophy for us to live by? Tomorrow can come true. So I believe that we live in a very infinite universe. I believe that spirit is our source always. And I believe that it's not really a zero-sum game. Do you guys know what a zero-sum game is? It's where you have a cake, let's say. There's a finite quantity to the cake, right? It's there in front of you. And a zero-sum game says that if I go and there's 20 of us, and I take a quarter of the cake, right? Then by the sums of it all, it means everybody else is going to get less, right? So that's a zero-sum game. And is that true? Well, you know, we have to keep in mind that, for instance, right now, we live in a finite world, right? There's only so much actually on this world. Not in the universe, it's infinite. Not in spirit, it's infinite. But in this universe, there's only so much. You cannot have 8 billion people all having oceanfront property. It does not work, right? It just doesn't add up. But the truth is that there is enough for us all. There is absolutely enough for us all. And so we get to work from this place of knowing that truth. And one of the things that I think is really important for humanity to know is put by Ernest Holmes. It's up here on your screen right now. Ernest, he says, he's the founder of our philosophy, and he says, "I know there is a divine pattern for humanity. And within this pattern, there is infinite," get that underline of infinite, right? Infinite harmony and peace, cooperation, unity, and mutual helpfulness. An infinite amount of that. And I absolutely agree with that. We are never limited in those quantities whatsoever. And the important thing that we have to know is that spirit is our source. Everything that shows up in our life, we don't have to make it. We have to create it in our mind mentally, but we don't have to make it ourselves. We have to participate in the process. But you know, this telephone I got here, I didn't make it. Somebody else made it. There's lots and lots and lots of ideas that went into this telephone. I had to have enough money to make it, but I'm not the source of my good either, of my money. Money has flown to me through spirit and as spirit. And so, we don't create the quantities of the things that we have. And what I'm really, really recommending for a prosperous life is that we give it over to spirit, both what we want in our lives, how to get it into our lives, and also, as a director of our own Prosperity Orchestra, we could choose to hire and fire. We could choose which instruments to put into it. We could choose exactly which piece of sheet music to give to each one of those people. or we can just follow our intuition, right? There's a difference between what's between my ears making a choice and what I hear in my heart and me, my consciousness, me, saying yes. So Thomas Merton, he says, happiness is not a matter of intensity, but of balance, order, rhythm, and harmony. So, you know, the rhythm is all about our prosperity, that structure that we have. There's a structure to the universe that's kind of like the rhythm of the universe. And as long as we're dancing to the beat of the universe, we're getting along, right? If we're the director, we're in charge of the beat, right? So I played in the band. There was always a conductor, and he was doing like this, right? But sometimes what we do is, you know, it's more like, yeah, I don't know. You know? We're not with the beat of the universe. We're off on some other thing. How do we get to the beat of the universe? We get to it by listening, just like we do when we dance. We listen, but we don't listen with our ears, we listen with our heart. Now, the thing about the structure of the universe that I have found is that there are basically 4 aspects to it. Now, we've got a number of practitioners here in the audience here. And practitioners generally are taught to do group prayers with people. And when you do a group prayer, like, you know, prayer and conversation is a great example. A bunch of people get together at the end, the practitioner asks them, you know, what do they want prayer for? And then he prays for them. Well, here's I'm going to give away some of this, tricks to the trade. One of the things that they're doing in the back of their mind, or at least the way I was taught, was as they're telling me what they want, I break it up into 4 different quadrants, right? I break it up into health, wealth, relationships, and creativity. And that's what we want. When we focus on our prosperity, we want to focus on one of those at a time, right? So that you can actually give some attention to what you're doing. And so we focus on this and we show ourselves, you know, how is my health right now? You know, my health is really important to me. Because if I don't have my health, I don't do anything else. And so I do regularly, I look at my health and I say, you know, what can I do to further my health? Now, let's talk a little bit about this. We choose a topic, and here's where people get confused. The first question that they ask and the thing that they get stuck on is they'll come to me or they'll talk to their friends, maybe their parents, maybe, you know, their spouse, and they'll go, what should I do? Right? What should I do? Well, who knows? When I'm asking that kind of question, what I'm really asking is, you know, what is there that's wrong in my life right now that I'm going to go fix? And figuring out what's wrong in your life is the wrong place to work on. I used to have a mentor who would tell me, you know, when you do that, all you're doing is moving the furniture around on the Titanic. Titanic is still going down, you know? So what do you do differently? What, you know, if that's what we normally do, oh, maybe I need to change jobs. Maybe I need to change husbands. Maybe I need to change, you know, maybe I need to balance my checkbook. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. The ego will just run you ragged on that, right? So I was listening to Marianne Williamson. I actually read her newsletter that I get from her, and then I went and listened to a YouTube thing about the same subject that she had. And her topic for that newsletter was something along the lines of either transactional or transformational change. So which one do you think is the better one, right? Transactional is just like what I said. You know, what do I do? What am I going to go out and change? Which of my, people of my family am I going to get rid of? Which of them am I going to pull closer? What job am I going to take? All those things, all those aspects to our life. We look for transactions. But what we should be doing is we should be asking a completely different question. How do I change myself? Because if I change myself, I transform myself. And that's what Marianne Williamson is talking about. Are you doing transactions? Are you doing transformation? Now, she talks about it a little bit. You got to be clear. She's in the political sphere nowadays, so she talks about it from that place, but she's talking about it from her experience of the heart too. So I want to talk about this transaction versus transformation in the guise of a story. We all love stories, don't we? Do we all remember the story of Annie? Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. Well, the story of Annie is a story of a little orphan girl, right? She's been orphaned. She's out. The story starts with her in an orphanage, and the only connection she has with her parents is she has this charm, this locket, and it's broken, right? She only has part of it. And in her mind, the thought is that her parents must still have the other half. And that one day she's going to find somebody with the other half of this locket, and she's going to be, she's going to end up with her family again. She's going to end up with her parents. And so then the next person we get in the story is we get Daddy Warbucks comes in. Now, Daddy Warbucks isn't the best character in the story when it starts, right? He's a little bit like Ebenezer Scrooge at the beginning of that story. But his idea is that he'll go get an orphan to live in his house in order to, it's a PR stunt. He's going to get this orphan, and he's going to get a lot of recognition from people that he's doing, he's a good guy. So he goes off, and who's the little orphan girl that comes to live with him but Annie? And he decides, as part of his PR thing, he's going to give $50,000 to whoever can bring the parents back into little orphan Annie's life. Yay, we got a newborn back there. I have to say, I heard earlier somebody out on our courtyard with our youth church going. We got the baby here. I am just so thrilled. It's like, it's like a limb has reattached back, as a minister, because it's just not the same without youth church. So anyway, I digress. So we have little orphan Daddy, and we have Daddy Warbucks, and we have this $50,000 check that's out there. And so the transactional aspects of this is that, little orphan Annie is going to get her parents. Daddy Warbucks is going to get, his fame and fortune that way. And somebody's going to get $50,000, which in the 1930s, during the Depression, was a huge amount of money. But what actually happens in that story? Well, the truth is little orphan Annie's parents died in a fire. They are never coming back. And, Daddy Warbucks' image is not what needs to be transformed here. It's not what needs to change for him. And, you know, the $50,000 reward, that transaction, all it does is get a bunch of con artists coming out to grift that money from him, right? But in the end, there is transformation. Because in the end, little orphan Annie gets Daddy Warbucks as her father. He wakes up. He recognizes that really what he wants in his life is love. And love is always the answer. So, you know, as we look at these transformations, you know, how do I need to transform? How do you need to transform? Well, Naomi Watts, she says this. She says, you have to make peace with yourself. The key is to find the harmony in what you have. I'm going to add an already in there. The key is to find the harmony in what you already have. Right? How many of you have wanted to sell your home, right? And I'm sorry? Oh, I heard Gloria say something. How many of you have wanted to sell your home and it doesn't move until you take care of it? You know, I was at a church that worked for years to get their own building. It wasn't until we really went in and cleaned up the one that we had that we got the next one. And I think, I don't know the history exactly here, but Rev, is that kind of the truth of this church too? I know that the church, as we moved from the previous place to this one, was quite a transformation. Yeah. So, you know, this is what we want to do, is we want to appreciate what we already have. And so, you know, in looking at that then, I want to appreciate where I'm standing already. I want to appreciate what prosperity has already shown up in my life. I want to appreciate what is already showing up. Where am I actually in rhythm? Where am I playing a chord that sounds like this? Versus where is it in my life? I get to choose. I'm in control. I am in the director. I am the director. I get to allow Spirit to lead the way. So I want to leave you today with an affirmation that's on your screen right now. If you want to read it along with me, it says, my life is in rhythm with the Prosperity Orchestra. Let's say that one more time. My life is in rhythm with the Prosperity Orchestra. So as you go out this week, what I want you to do is I want you to recognize that God is absolutely the source of all your good. God is each and every one of those instruments. God is each one playing those instruments. God is even the music that they're playing. You're the director, but God is your source. And, you know that as that source, as Spirit is your source, you get to move forward with joy, confidence, and ease. And when you look at one of those four places, your health, your wealth, your relationships, or your creativity, as you look at one of those four aspects in your life, choose one and then figure out how you want to transform. Find transactions. If you're going to do a transaction, do transactions that will support your transformation. And as always, if you're not quite sure, just let Spirit guide you. Thank you, and namaste. Oh, so let's just ground that in, anchor that in with a small, quick prayer. Thank you, Chris, for playing a little underneath it. I'm knowing absolutely in this moment and all moments that there is only one life, one power, one presence, and it is the source of everything. It is the source of my prosperity. It's the source of my love, my peace, my joy. It's the source of everything that we see and that we touch. And as that's the truth of Spirit, I know it to be the truth of me. I know it to be the truth of you. I know it to be the truth of each and every person. I know absolutely as we move in that abundance that God is, that prosperity that God is, that everything just clicks. Everything moves to the rhythm of the universe. Everything just has its way with us in the way that we need to have so that we can transform ourselves into that more loving, more peaceful, more joyful person that is the person of our dreams. I have made a lot of calls this week. If I haven't gotten to you yet, I will. And I know absolutely that every person that has asked for prayer this week from me, that I have said prayers, the practitioners are praying, that we are each and every one of us lifted up high. I know that our wholeness and our order is the truth of us. That wholeness and order that Spirit is, it moves through our bodies, it moves through our souls, it moves through our lives, not needing to be told what to do or how to do it. It just does it naturally. I know that our prosperity and abundance is the natural order of things. And so our freedom, that word that means so much, our freedom is always ours. And for knowing the truth of all of this, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contributions. For those of you who are online, you've probably already given, but if you haven't quite yet, there's 3 ways to give, and anybody here can do that too. There's ahiah.com/donate. There's a telephone number that you can text give to, and then it'll just walk you through the process. So if you text give to 616, not 626, 616-229-2225, it'll tell you what to do. Also, you can always mail a check in to our address here. I love getting the love notes that people send me too. So, feel free to do that. And for those of you here, there's offering envelopes, and then we don't pass the offering bowl around right now because of COVID, but we do have it as you're going out at the back and at the side door. So, however you're doing that, let's just take our offering to our heart, maybe our virtual offering to our heart, and the affirmation is on the screen. Follow along with me, or come on, say it along with me. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. And I'm going to do a couple of quick announcements, and then we're going to have Andrea up for another song. And so we know that we have a lovely set of practitioners. We got 10 of them here at Ahiah, plus Reverend Mike and I, and we're all loving to do prayer with you. And you can go and meet our practitioners. They have their contact information at ahiah.com/meetourpractitioners. And then if you want to just leave a prayer request online, you can do it by going to ahiah.com/prayers. Otherwise, there's prayer requests in the pews, and you can put it in the box that's right back past Milton, just in the foyer. And then dial a prayer is a great thing. I love dial a prayer. When I'm down, I just dial that, and it's got a message as well, a reading as well as a prayer in there. So you can go to ahiah.com/dial-a-prayer with a hyphen in between. Remember that our youth program has started, and so feel free to bring your kids in. We arrive, they start up at 10:30 and they go till the service is over. We have mastermind groups. I told you about these earlier. This is a way for you to be supported in your prosperity. We have Sunday at 12:30, meaning after fellowship here. So if you want to stick around today, we'll be doing a mastermind group. Also, Monday at 1 o'clock is here at Ahiah. Just come on down. That's 1 in the afternoon. Monday at 7 p.m. is on Zoom. So if you go to ahiah.com/prosperity, you can sign up and I'll send you links and everything for the Zoom rooms. Wednesday at 2, Thursday at 7 p.m., and Friday at 6. All of those are on Zoom. All 4 of those are on Zoom. And we would love for you to be there. And then next week is good because, we got a picture of Troy on here. And he's going to be grilling back there over in the corner. Thank you, Troy. And people are bringing side dishes in. So if you want, it's always nice to get a count of how many to expect. So it'd be lovely if you would go to the ahiah.com/prosperity. Click the link to sign up for that. Tell us who's showing up for you. Okay, so let's have Andrea come on up. And she's gonna sing us out today.
Yeah. Thank you, Rev. You're rocking.
And so are you.
Yeah. We're gonna rock a little bit right now. Teaming up with Holy Spirit, I'm teaming up with God. I'm teaming up with Holy Spirit, I'm teaming up with love. If I lost my way, I'm gonna find it again. 'Cause that's the way we roll. That's the way we roll. First I listen and I hear it. I hear the voice of God. First I listen and I hear it. I hear the voice of love. If I lost my way, I'm gonna find it again. 'Cause that's the way we roll. We roll. I said, that's the way we roll. We roll. First I feel it, then I see it. I see the face of God. First I feel it, then I see it. I see the face of love. If I lost my way, you know, I'm gonna find it again. Hey. 'Cause that's the way we're wrong. I am the precipitation and visible presence of all that I desire. No man, no woman, no thing can interfere with it. I am the only activity happening here, so I am prosperity. I am the flow. I am the flow. Yeah. We roll. That's the way we roll. Okay. I say, yeah. That's the way we roll. We roll. Feel it, say it. That's the way That's the way, that's the way we roll.
It's the way we rock and roll. Absolutely. Andrea, can you tell us a way of finding you on the web?
So you can find me on my website, AndreaLane.org.
AndreaLane.org.
Yeah.
All right, that's easy to remember. All right, so let's go ahead and do our benediction. And do we have some kids that are showing up? Yeah? Okay, well, you know, I got a microphone. I got an extra microphone. You want to say hi? Yeah? Say hi. Hi. You want to say hi? What's your name? Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I got it off. How about now? Are we on, Gloria? I don't think so. So what's your name, sweetie? Samaya? Did I say that right? Yeah. All right. I got it right. That's right. And what's your name? Jason. Nice to meet you, Jason. And I know you. You're Orion, aren't you? I think so. Yeah, no worries. And this is Lisa. Lisa, you want to say a little bit about what we did today?
Good morning. Today was our first day of youth church, so very excited. And we did some art projects. We talked about what youth church was going to be like, and we said a little opening prayer, and then we made a haunted house and a Halloween bookmark. So if you stop by, you can see our beautiful projects. Thank you.
Right out in the courtyard, right there. Yes, thank you. All right, let's go ahead and say our benediction. And but before our benediction, let me just remind you that we're having fellowship out in the courtyard after service. If you're online, go to ahiah.com/virtual, and you can get the Zoom link, and we'll meet you there also. So however you get there, let's go ahead and say the benediction together. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it, and I share it just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. I will see you next week. And if you're going to stick around for the mastermind group, it'll be at 12:30 in the fellowship hall. So I'll see you there. Okay.